What's up, guys? Paramoto here. I haven't ridden since like last Wednesday. I'm super excited to get on the bike right now. Hurricane, tropical, whatever, depression, Debbie, whatever the shit rained out my week. So this is my first time being on a bike since like last Wednesday, which is almost a full ass week, which is the longest I've been without a bike since January, probably. Honestly, probably since I bought this thing. Already forgetting how peppy this bike can be. I'm rocking my Slippy Vans with taco socks. This is a whole ass vibe right here. I don't know what encompasses my personality more than taco socks. Maybe grippy socks. Grippy socks might be the only thing that fits me a little bit better. So guys, I have a topic video for y'all today. As I almost always nowadays, I don't do generally just like mindless vlogs. I'm almost always doing a topic, but so my topic for today is, should you start on a lower CC bike, or does it make more sense to just go get the bike that you want off the rip? There's a whole bunch of different schools of thought behind, you know, should I get the bigger bike? Should I get the smaller bike? Should I just slowly step up? Should it just be gradual? And it just completely depends on you guys. And honestly, this is probably the biggest question that I've gotten for a very long time is, you know, can I start on an XYZ bike? You know, especially when I had my Ducati. Like, everybody wanted to ask, can I start on a Ducati Panigale? My answer is yes. You 100% can start on a Ducati Panigale or a Yamaha MT-07. It just totally depends on you whether or not you're going to be successful, right? Well, there's a couple things at play here. Is it, number one, safe, and number two, cost effective, right? So the first thing to talk about is safety, right? Because money doesn't matter if you're dead. You know, that's not how it works. Money does not matter if you are dead. It might make more sense for you to spend more money on upgrading slowly. It depends on you. Address number one is safety. Honestly, I started on a Ninja 300. I got bored in like 10 months. After 10 months, that thing was pinned, throttle wide open. Everywhere I went, didn't matter. I was banging through all the gears. Does that mean that I used 100% of that bike? No. That bike was still better than me, better than my skill set. I did not outgrow that bike whatsoever. I just wanted something a little bit more fun. Should I done it? Maybe, maybe not. So then I stepped up into 600s. After several years in the 600 game, I ended up stepping up to my Ducati Panigale, my 1000cc super bike, you know, damn near 1000cc super bike. For me, that was the correct thing to do, because going from 30 horsepower to roughly 100 horsepower is a big jump, and that's exactly what you do when you generally jump from a 300, 400 to a 600. That 70 horsepower jump delivered in the manner that a super bike delivers things is stout. It is a very stout. It is very interesting. I learned the hard way that is a very interesting upgrade. So when I went from 300 to 600, I was stopped at a red light one day, and the person behind me was kind of driving like a dickhole, and I wanted to get some room between me and them, you know, just for my own safety, and also to do a little bit of subtle enforcement that I like to do. Throttle just as like I would do if I had my 300. And as you would expect, that bike went beep. I was getting pulled off that bike, and I couldn't grab the clutch, and the only thing I could really get was my rear brake. So I slammed the rear brake and ended up setting down the front wheel, and then I found a side street to dip down and collect my emotions, because honestly, that was probably the scariest bike moment to that point. After that moment, I learned that a 600 is not a toy. It is not a 300. It is legitimate. It is very legitimate, and you need to be careful when you upgrade. For me, that upgrade from 300 to 600 to 1000 was probably why I'm here today. I took my time. I didn't rush anything. You know, I eventually got to the big leagues, which was the 1000cc. My ultimate goal pretty much the entire time. At that stage of my life, I was like 25, 26. I was not very mature. I did not consider myself to be a functioning adult at 25 years old. And for me, limiting myself a little bit was intelligent. I've had a lot of people hit me up and say that they, you know, started on a Panigale, or they started on XYZ bike that was very big, that I would not consider to be a beginner bike, and they did okay. Rider dependent for several different factors. You know, age, maturity, experience, life experience. A big one is life experience and stuff like that. So you just gotta take each thing in consideration. So everything needs to be taken in consideration, and this is generally why I do not provide specific bike recommendations for people anymore, because there's just so many different factors that I cannot legitimately give a bike recommendation to somebody, because I don't know you guys. I mean, I'm just your internet friend. We're not sitting down, you know, eating tacos together, you know, so I can't really speak to what would work well for you. I can guide you guys a little bit, but other than that, it's really just person dependent. When you're talking about getting your very first motorcycle, take all this in consideration and have a very sobering moment with yourself and make sure that you're honest with yourself. Like, am I a mature person? If I get on a 600, am I going to be going 130 miles an hour everywhere we go like I did, and I didn't have any skills to back it up? That's not ideal. You know, honestly, if you want to live to your next birthday, have that conversation with yourself, because this stuff is inherently dangerous. Any one of us can die at any moment. Something stupid can happen. Deer can run out. Tire can blow out. That can lose control and go headfirst into a telephone pole. You know, this is a generally dangerous thing that we do. We don't need to make it more dangerous by making bad decisions. So the flip side is more monetary. It doesn't make financial sense to slowly step up a motorcycle. It can and it cannot, to be honest with you. So, like, for me, I went from 300 to 600 to a second 600 after I wrecked one to 1,000. My bikes face various depreciation levels. I probably got the most out of my 300 because my 300 wasn't wrecked. Man, I make terrible decisions. But I got like several $1,000s out of my 300, you know, and you got to think about it. Like, if I buy something for $10,000 and I sell it a year later for $8,000 or $9,000, I pretty much paid $1,000 or $2,000 just to have that experience for the year. That's how I do my boy math. Your experience may vary. I traded in my 300, put the money towards a 600, ended up totaling that one through no fault of my own, and then got another 600. And, you know, like, the game can kind of step up. You can kind of recycle and put money into different things. Bikes are by no means an investment. Regular street bikes are by no means an investment, but you can get money back out of them. So it might not make complete terrible financial sense for you to get a 300, then get a 600, then get 1,000, or slowly step up, get an MT-03, get an MT-07, get an MT-09, you know, and just slowly step up if you feel like that's right for you. I always thought about the money that I put into motorcycles as completely separate. So, like, you know, I've spent X amount of thousands of dollars on my 300. That money is dedicated to motorcycles and nothing else. So that, you know, I'm gonna upgrade my bike eventually, and it's gonna be, you know, I'm gonna upgrade my motorcycle eventually, and all the money that's gonna go towards the upgrader is gonna come from that, you know. So I'm not constantly dipping into my own personal savings and stuff. If you generally take care of your motorcycles and you know, you trade up here and there, and you don't just like ride them till the wheels falls off, you could generally save a decent amount of money. Honestly, that being said, you will lose a little bit of money when you do that slow step up. You know, it's just gonna happen, you know, because vehicles depreciate. You know, like, I couldn't get what I spent on this bike back from the dealership. So vehicles depreciate. You will end up losing a little bit of money, but it's all about that safety thing. Does it make sense for you monetarily and keeping your own life safety in mind? For me, it did. For you, I hope it does as well. I hope you guys actually take your life into consideration and don't make terrible decisions like a lot of us do. Something to be said about just getting what you want off the rip. You know, the buy once, cry once mentality is something that I follow quite a bit. I try not to buy junk, because generally when you buy junk, you have to replace. You know, if you buy the motorcycle that you want off the rip, you never have to worry about stepping up, and you never have to worry about replacing anything. There was a guy, I believe his name was Life 40. He started on a Panigale 959 Corsa Edition. Beautiful motorcycle. It was his first bike, and he was successful. At least as far as I know, he was successful at doing that. I've heard some other people start on R1s and ZX10s, and as long as you generally try to be safe, try to make good decisions, it worked out well for him. There's something to be said about being safe and taking your time, and there's also something to be said about just getting what you want. If you feel like you're mature enough, and like, say you had a lot of experience on dirt bikes or some other stuff, you know, it might make sense for you to just get the bike that you want. Your mileage may vary. My personal experience is that I would have died if I did that. Everybody's different, and you know, that's why, like I said earlier, you know, I can't really make motorcycle recommendations for people that much anymore, because I've been proven wrong, and I'll admit that I've been proven wrong a lot. There's no possibility of me knowing enough about an average subscriber to be able to recommend something. So this is kind of why I'm making this video, is that, damn, that's a hole, is that I can't make recommendations for every single human being out there. I can only provide guidance, and I hope this helps some of your guys' decision, and I hope it guides you to the right direction, the right path. Does it make sense for you guys to step up slowly? Does it make sense for you guys to save money and just buy what you want off the rip? There may be a middle ground too. Like, if you wanted an MT-10 and you know that a demilled R1 engine is probably a lot from where you're at, you know, in life, you know, it might make sense to get MT-07 instead. It might make sense to get an SV650 or a Ninja 650 or something else that's not a demilled R1 engine, because an MT-07 is a legitimately sick motorcycle. I think I would honestly get one. I love this MT-07, and I can see this gracing my garage for a good long while. MT-10 will be absolutely killer to get one day when I feel like stepping back up to the fast boy life again. I don't really want to do fast boy life anymore, but you know, sometimes I might have to. If you have anything to add, or if you're about that fast boy life and you want to talk to me down below, go ahead and shoot me a comment. I do my best to answer every single comment, although I've been a little distracted lately and I haven't gotten around in real time like I typically do. But you know what? I get around to everybody. At least I think I get around to everybody. Anyway guys, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces!